Hello everybody, I'm MegaBen1320 and I have not uploaded anything in forever. I'll get to that in a separate video because in this video today I'm going to be covering a much more important issue, and that is the Arapahoe High School shooting. I don't know if you all have heard about it on the news. I'm guessing you already have, but in Centennial Colorado, Arapahoe High School, there was a shooting today, probably by the time you were watching this yesterday, and the reason I'm making a video about it is because I'm a sophomore at Arapahoe, and I just thought I'd make this video to just share with you guys some of my experiences and just get some of it off my chest, I guess. I feel like I just kind of want to talk to somebody about it, and I figured I might as well talk to you guys about it. So I'm just going to start with sharing my experience from today. You've probably heard a whole bunch of different stories on the news from different people, probably more exciting stories than mine, but I'm still going to share my story. So basically, it's all happened during fifth hour, which is the second to last hour during the day. And fifth hour, I had drawing 2 in basically the art wing, and basically the most northeast quarter of the building, pretty much. So as far away from the science wing as I could probably get. I could probably get a little further away if I went to the southeast corner, but that doesn't really matter. So I was probably in one of the safest spots I could probably have been in for this. So basically what happened was we were just having normal science class, what I'm talking about. We were having normal drawing class, and I had gotten up to do something. I was sitting back down in my seat, and on the intercom, a police officer is on the intercom, which was unusual. It's usually an administrator making a quick announcement. But basically, he was like very stern and very, almost a little bit panicked. He was like, "We're in a lockdown now." And that's basically all that he said. So we were like, well, okay, it's a lockdown drill. So we shut the blinds, shut and lock the door, and kind of just sat in the back of the classroom, just expecting to just be waiting out 10 to 15 minutes for the lockdown drill to be lifted, and then we just resume with normal class time. But it lasted a lot longer than that, and I want to say about 15 minutes in, people started getting texts like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? What's going on? Do you know what's going on? Are you okay? What?" Basically, like, what the heck? And everybody, we didn't know what on earth was going on, so we were like, well, yeah, we're fine. Why shouldn't we be? And it was about that time that we all started to think that something was up, because a little bit after that, we started hearing sirens and everything all over the place around the school, and we were like, okay, something is actually serious. Something serious is going on here. Ironically, just during the lockdown initial to actually figuring out that something was going on, we were talking about just, our teacher was telling stories from like Columbine and stuff like that. We were just having a conversation. So then people started looking on the news like, hey, well, what's going on? And that's when we discovered, like, oh my gosh, there's been a shooting at our school. And probably not a lot of you who are watching this go to Arapahoe, and being a student there, I can tell you that the class at Arapahoe is very nice. I mean, we rarely have any fights or anything like that. Most of the time, the only sort of violence, as you would call it, is just people saying bad words to each other and then just kind of dropping it. That's pretty much all that ever happens and goes wrong at the school. So something like this, something this huge, that's definitely crazy, and it's just weird to think that something like that was actually just so personal and got so close to where I actually am. It's definitely a different experience. So basically, we were all just like texting everybody in class. I started texting my mom like, "Hey, don't come pick me up until I text you and tell you it's okay." And at this point, I didn't know how big of a deal it was. Apparently, it had already been national news, and like my friend Foster, who was sitting next to me, he was on his phone like the majority of the lockdown time with his family, like telling him to calm down, that he's okay. I was texting my mom telling her I was okay, that I was still in the building though, because we were in like the safest spot. We were going to be like the last ones out of the building. So my parents and everything were pretty darn stressed about that. And once I got home, we had a long conversation and just sharing stories and all that, what was going on. But so yeah, we're sitting there and we're hearing the sirens and everything. We're getting all the texts, and we're getting kind of worried. And I'm thinking, like, first thing I thought to do was just pray. I was like, Lord, give me peace. And I also prayed that He would give everyone else in the room peace as well. And I was also just kind of thinking about, well, if a shooter walks in here and starts shooting us, am I okay with dying? And I quickly, and not surprisingly to me, answered, yeah, I'm cool if I die. I don't really care. I know where I'm going. And I'd be more concerned for the people left behind, because I know I'm going to heaven, and I haven't really shared the fact that I'm a Christian a whole lot on my channel before, but announcing it now, and it's quite obvious by the cross I wear. I made it myself. I actually have 2 designs, and every time I'll do a vlog from here on out, I'll always be wearing this, because anybody at school who's watching this, you know exactly who I am because of this cross that I'm wearing. I'm the only one with a giant wooden cross that I've cut out, so I've proclaimed my faith quite well in just the school realm and just the public realm and everything like that. But I was thinking about it, like, am I okay with dying today? And I was thinking, yeah, I'm totally okay with that. I just felt really at peace about it, and by the grace of God, we all got out of there, and it wasn't worse than it could have been, and I'm really thankful for that. So basically, after a while, we were sitting there for a long time, just in class. It was, I want to say it was at least 2 hours, but I have no real internal clock in my head. Literally, there is practically no clock inside my head, and that's why I wear a watch. Even with my watch, I still suck at keeping the time. So, I want to say it was about 2 hours. Anyone else who was in the room with me can probably attest to something slightly different than 2 hours. I might be right, I might be wrong, I don't know. If you're in the classroom with me, feel free to leave a comment. Tell me how long you think it was, because I could be horribly wrong. But basically, after a while, the police came in, like the SWAT team. They busted down the door and they pointed like AK-47s at us and started yelling like, "Get up, put your hands in the air." So we were like, okay. And actually, just sidetracking, but before that, I went on the internet and started watching a live feed from outside the school, because I was like, well, I'm inside the school and I barely have any idea what's going on, and I want to be informed. So I went and looked at the news, and I saw that they were evacuating people with their hands up and everything, and I noticed that they weren't wearing backpacks. So I was like, what do I need for my backpack? So I pulled out my phone, my wallet, my 3DS, and my iPad mini, and shoved it all in my pockets. And yes, my iPad mini fits in my pocket. It's true. I have amazing pockets. I chose not to bring my 3DS case, which has all the games in it, so that's still in my backpack in my drawing classroom, and honestly, I have no idea when I'll get it back, as well as my iPad and DS charger. So awesome! I get to have no battery power on both of those things all weekend, as well as the choice of one game on my DS, but I've been playing Minecraft lately, so that's no big deal. So yeah, I walked out with all that stuff on me. Of course, they patted us down, so I held this, like, big bulk of just electronics and stuff that we were supposed to pull out of our pockets. Whereas my friends, they just had to pull out their phones and stuff. It was kind of funny. I was like, look what I brought. See, I'm bringing, like, everything. I also I'm wearing cargo pants today, so that helped out definitely a lot. But anyway, so we get patted down, and we weren't escorted out of the building, which I was surprised about. We were escorted to a different room, basically a tech lab in the kind of the art area. And there was a whole bunch of there's like 3 or 4 other classes already in there, and probably 2 more arrived after we got in there. They were just kind of gathering us up in here, getting ready to just release us all outside. And while I was there, I called my mom, told her that I was okay, we're about to leave the building. She can stop panicking. And I got a call from one of my YouTube friends, as well as one of my friends on the street. Kind of same thing. But he was asking me if it was okay. I didn't have a whole lot of time to talk. But so I got a call from him. I called my mom, and so then we left, and we walked outside and did the whole hands up thing, and we were all just kind of chatting about whoever. I wasn't particularly saying these words, but all my friends around me were, because unfortunately high schoolers tend to use a lot of language, and they were like, well, whoever the effer is who did that really just completely just ruined everything. I was laughing and agreeing, but I don't agree with the exact words. Besides that, so we walk out and we were like, man, this sucks, this is so horrible. And right soon they just they let us like stop holding our hands up and just kind of set us in front of the school, kind of near where the bus carpool lane is. And from the other end of the school, there was the swimming and yoga classes coming out in towels and bare feet on the snow, because it's still snowy outside. I'm pretty sure you saw all snow on the news. So they're walking out in towels and bare feet, freezing. And I don't know if you've ever been in the pool at Arapahoe, but when you walk in, I don't have a whole lot of body weight. I'm skinny. I'm healthy, but I'm skinny. And when I go in there, I'm pretty immune to the cold. When I hop in that pool, within like 2 minutes, my goosebumps will have goosebumps that have goosebumps on them. It is freezing. I'm surprised the water doesn't just start, like the top of it just doesn't start freezing up, and we could like skate on top of it or something. It's cold. You feel warm when you walk outside of it. It's that cold. So I felt absolutely horrible for these guys, knowing exact how cold they were feeling, and just kind of, we were kind of like, oh well, this isn't as bad as what they have. So that kind of just, we kind of stopped talking about that after then. So a couple minutes later, we crossed the street over to where King Supers is across the street, and we just kind of hung out there, and they gave us water and like food and stuff. So I got some water and was just relaxing. I was texting my mom, and I was like, hey, we're at King Supers, come pick me up now. And she was like, well, we're at the church behind King Supers. That's where we're like checking everybody out. I'll check you out there. And I was like, no, I'm at King Supers. You're checking me out here. They're checking kids out. I want to go home. So everybody got like really confused. So my mom, she texted me. She got out of line and started walking over to King Supers. Coincidentally, at the same time, they were like, oh, right, we're going to all go to the, I think, Shepherd of the Lamb. I'm not exactly sure what the church name is, but the church behind King Supers, I'm just going to call it that. So they were like, let's just go there because everyone else is there. And I was like, awesome. My mom just got out of line for no blanket reason. So we're over there, and it was like another 2 hours in there where it was extremely hot and loud. I met up with a bunch of my friends there, and we exchanged stories about like, oh my gosh, what the heck is happening? And after a while, I got reunited with my family, and huge, impossible planning people, not making good decisions. It took forever. It was extremely loud, and it was total chaos in there. And so yeah, like once I finally got home, I was kind of relaxed, and I was like, I'm like really stressed out. I'm not doing homework for the whole weekend. And speaking of weekend, I actually, because of this, I have a 3-day weekend. I get Monday off. And I have no idea what we're going to do about finals week, because finals week is next week. I don't know. I don't even want to know, because we're supposed to have class on Monday. And then we have finals Tuesday through Friday. I have no idea what we're going to do about that. Maybe we'll have them, like, at the beginning of next semester. I don't know. It's just be awful. My screen, my screen. I've been leaving my computer alone long enough that it just went black. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but my screen went black. So if it looked like that, the video completely cut off. I'm sorry. My computer's stupid. So yeah, and that's pretty much it for my story. That's kind of where it ended. We got home safely, and I just started exchanging stories. I got stories from Tub 1317. He's my brother, telling me like, oh, he was extremely worried about me. All my cousins and everything were texting my mom, like, and my dad, like, oh my gosh, it's been okay, it's been okay, it's been okay, because I knew that I go to Arapahoe, and kind of felt, I kind of felt like, you know, really loved that all of my family and everything were really concerned about me, like family across the country. My parents have been getting emails and texts across the country from like church members and family members asking if I was alright. I was just really happy about that. So when it comes to other stories about what happened, from one of the people that I talked to, his story was he was like walking down the hallway and he heard gunshots like from the cafeteria, and then everybody started running out of the cafeteria, and that's pretty much it. I left out a little bit of detail though. I wouldn't be able to remember all the details that he told me, but that's pretty much the basic of it. So he was walking down the hallway, he heard gunshots, he heard a few gunshots, and everybody started running out of the school, and he was like, oh my gosh, it's a shooting, and he starts running out too. And I almost kind of wish that I could have seen or heard something, because it doesn't seem as real to me as I want it to feel, because I didn't hear or see anything. I kind of felt away from it, not really a part of it. Then I guess I would have felt if I had actually seen something, or at least talking to my friends and my friends' friends. I got kind of a feel for what it was like for them. So another story that I had heard was from one of my friends in drawing class. His friend was texting him saying that he was in the library when the dude walked in, and was basically, he said that he started firing shots into the air, like basically towards the ceiling, saying, where the F is Mr. Murphy? And Mr. Murphy is a librarian at the school, and that's all I really know what he does. I'm pretty sure he's another teacher. He teaches some kind of other thing there, but I'd have to go look it up on the school's website, exactly what else he teaches. But why is my mouse in there? That's not supposed to be there. And basically that's the story that they told, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know, trying to put myself in that situation, I don't really know exactly how I would have felt. I've never been face to face with a gunman who basically had the decision in their hand whether or not I would die. And the rest of that story is as soon as that started happening, him and this other dude he was studying with, like, flipped the table over and hid under it, which I probably would have done at that moment. If he was attacking someone else, I probably would have come and tried to stop him, but he was just firing into the air at that point. But I've also heard stories that I haven't heard any of these stories from like actual people, but I've heard news reports that there was also a shooting in the science wing. I envision it being in the upstairs portion of the science wing, but I honestly don't know. There's an upstairs and a downstairs portion. And I also have a friend from youth group who was in the science wing at the time, and she had to be interviewed by the police and everything, so she could tell them exactly what she saw and what happened. And I mean, I'd be pretty interesting to have to be interviewed by the police. I don't really know what that would be like. I'm trying to imagine that. It's odd. It's just really odd, and I'm not really processing this the way that I know I really would at this point, since this is just happened. And if I were just depending on how I feel about this tomorrow, I might make another vlog about it, saying how I feel about just everything tomorrow. But those are the 3 stories. So basically, this dude walked in through the west entrance of the school and started firing in the science wing, then somehow got down to the cafeteria, did some shooting, and made it back to the library, which is probably the easiest place in the whole school to get cornered, which is where he, according to rumors and news reports, burned some books and then also confirmed shot himself. And that's the part that just completely pains me. I mean, I may or may not pull a picture up of this guy. You can probably just look it up if you've already seen it. But, I mean, I've seen pictures of this guy, and the thing is, I've seen this guy in the hallway, like, a few times before. I've seen pretty much most of the Arapahoe students in the hallway, maybe once or twice at this point. And, like, when I saw the face, I don't know him, but I recognized him. I was like, oh, yeah, I've seen that guy once or twice in the hallway. If I saw him in the hallway, I'd probably be able to point him out, like, yeah, that's that one dude. But, he doesn't look like a mean guy who would do this kind of thing. That's also just, I mean, I don't really know what to say. Part of this, I'm just kind of speechless. When I was going over what I was going to say in my head, it all sounded a lot better. Putting it into actual words is just so much harder, especially when you're just really thinking about what exactly happened today. It's just breathtaking how much evil there is in this world, and just how awful some people will act and what they will do. Another thing that just completely pains me is I don't know whether or not this guy was saved. I don't know whether or not he was a Christian or not, or was going to heaven. My assumption, because I'm just going to assume that he's a stereotypical American teenager, so that means the stereotypical American teenager, unfortunately, is not saved. And that's the part that bothers me the most, is to at least have an assumption that he's not with God in heaven right now, and that if he thought he was having a bad day at the beginning of today, that was like a really good day this morning compared to what he's faced with for forever right now. And I don't even know what to say about that. It's just awful. And I probably don't sound like my normal self either. Recording, I'm pretty tired and stressed out and just shocked at all the stuff that's going on. So I'll probably make a follow-up video to this at some point. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like and comment as well. Tell me what you think about this, and if you were there as well, just feel free to share your story about it. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time.